on realtor.com, but here they are. I'm also going to show you what it looks like on Google Maps, but here's what the realtor page had. Inside the living
Meeting is called to order at 5:10, and we'll read the League of Women Voters Corpus Christi area is a nonpartisan grassroots civic organization that encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. So again, Ms. Tryon is not going to be here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and I'll just call the roll, and Eli, you can monitor it. Okay. So we have Armand. If you'll just unmute for right now. So we have Armand present. We have Sandra, Sandy present.
Yes.
Ms. Tryon is absent. Brittany Young.
Present.
Eli McKay.
Here.
Alexandra Lukey. I thought I saw her.
Present. Sorry, I turned off my video. I'm present.
That's okay. Thank you. Nick Jimenez.
I'm here. I'm trying to get over a turkey stupor.
Oh my goodness. Did that tryptophan kind of stump you up?
That's right. Yeah.
Liz Stockley.
I'm here.
Okay. We have ex officio invitee, ex officio Catherine Oler. She's here. Oh, she was. She said they were working on some sound. She sent me a text. And we have Chris.
Here.
And Lisa. Oh, Lisa's going to be coming on in just a minute. She said that she had to do something. So a quorum has been established and we can do business. So the first order of business, we typically will approve the minutes. I don't know that anybody, unless you're a really eager beaver, had an opportunity to read the minutes from last time around, which was October. I did send them in the same email. It was a second forward to you in the invite email that we got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the approval of the minutes at the bottom of our agenda and give us time to go over those minutes and approve it at the end of the meeting, if that is okay with everybody.
That's fine.
Now, the only thing I'm asking is if I forget, y'all pull my chain on that one, okay? All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I just wanted to thank everybody for all the hard work that was put in for number one, since we postponed our meeting or canceled our meeting for November, for everybody that put in all the hard work that was done to get our voter guides out, to deliver them, to Alex and I believe it was Chris that was putting together all of the paperwork, and Nick and Maria helped, I believe, look at some, I guess, oversight or proofing. Everybody that jumped in and delivered. Chris was at that docking point, I believe, at 6 o'clock in the morning. Is that not correct, Chris?
Well, Eli was there and Alex was there, and we had we got them all into cars. It was wonderful. Wonderful. And then all went to Alex's house.
All right. Yes. And thanks, Alex. Thanks to Alex for housing them, because I picked up some. And so it was just an overall, just a concerted effort for everybody. and everybody jumped in. And so I so appreciate everything that you guys did to help us get that done. I also wanted to just, I believe that Sandra might mention this, but we did get some additional funds. And I think part of that fund from the state, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's some funds that were promised to us as a result of us adhering to all of the criteria that we were supposed to put in place in order to finish off that grant that we got. So thank you, everybody. Everybody should be giving themselves a hand, and I really certainly appreciate you. And actually, I just realized that my camera is not on. I did not intend for that to be. Somebody needs to hit me up. There we go.
There you are.
Just thought you were doing it incognito.
Nah, you have no idea what my last 2 weeks have been like. So if I do these major blow-ups, just holler at me. So, okay, we're going to start with Sandy for our report. Sandy's going to talk to us about thank you, Catherine, some upcoming changes that we have been anticipating for a while. And so there's some additional information that she wants to give. Sandy?
I think I talked about this in October. I don't remember.
Yeah.
The membership program is changing. Beth has been to an update meeting. I have not. Mine is tomorrow. But we are about to change the way we do our membership. And according to Beth, it's now set for February 1st to go live. They've been saying January for a while. But essentially, we have always held a $60 price point for an individual membership, a $90 for a household, and $100 for sustaining. All of that's going to change. Anybody can join our league for $20 if they so choose. This is a DEI move to include people who are less well-funded. And so essentially the minimum amount that they will allow us to take is $20. The amount they're going to take out of that is going to change. We get to keep, I believe, 40%, which is more. It's going to result in more money to us, actually. I say that it could be 20% now that I think about it. But anyway, the point is that our membership renewals are going to be totally different the next time you do them after February 1. We have to come up with an amount that we recommend as the full dues for an individual member, because the state and national are recommending $75. They want us to say $75 is the recommended fee for an individual membership. We don't have to do that, as I understand. I may find out differently tomorrow. We can set whatever number we want, but they are recommending $75. Our traditional has been $60. Household memberships go away, as does sustaining membership. In essence, we're going to have to train our members, and Beth says that it's a little easier than I thought it was going to be. But you go to the membership renewal, you put in how much you want to pay to renew, and then there is another button in that same area for donations. And so we're going to have to talk to our members about the fact that whatever they give us as dues is subject to fees from state and national. Whatever they give us as a donation is not. So depending on where they want money to go, they're going to have to figure out how they want to pay us. Again, I suspect a lot of people will follow whatever our recommendation is. If we say recommended $60, which is what we've always had, I suspect a lot of people will renew at $60. But sustainers, people who are sustaining or people who are household may go on and just pay $90 or $100 and not realize that all of that will be subject to fees from state and national. Whereas if they gave 60 and then donated 40, which is the way we've always handled it, that the whole 40 would come to us and only the 60 would be subject to money coming out of that to go to state and national. The other problem, of course, is with the household memberships. There are no longer going to be household memberships. If you push $90 as a membership, you've given $90 to be an individual member. There is no, you have to go back in to join your spouse or other household member as a separate member now. You can still do it, $60 for the first one and then do $30 for the second one and come out the same way. But that's something we're going to have to tell all the people who have household memberships, because it's not going to renew the same way anymore. So the two things that I think we need to get on pretty quickly are, one, we need to decide what our recommended dues level is. And then after that, I think we can get into whether we will accept, we've always had $5 student memberships. Essentially, those go away unless we set them and are willing to pay the extra $15 to get them in there, because if we allow them to be a member, state and national will treat that as a $20 donation that we're going to have to cover. So the big question is, I guess, what we want our recommended dues level to be at this point. And then we're going to need to tell our membership that this is going to change. Now, Beth took the most recent training. I'm about to do it tomorrow. But she said they showed pictures of what the website's supposed to look like, but we apparently don't have them yet. And I didn't find them in a quick search today.
Okay.
I didn't have far because I got tied up in something else that I just emailed you about, Beth. But so, we don't have, right now we don't have a picture to show our members and say, here's how you do it. But we're going to have to get that out soon because it's going into effect as of right now in less than 2 months.
So what, okay. Brittany, go ahead. Brittany, you have a question?
So this is going to be a website that's external to Club Express, correct?
My understanding is it's in Club Express.
Okay.
I installed Stripe because I was told we had to have it online by October 15th.
Yeah.
The last time I talked to the state treasurer, she said, no, you're going to have to install it in Club Express. Installing it outside won't work. Although originally they said you can install it and then import it later. And that's what they sent me to somebody else who'd already done it. That's what she did. She installed it and said, well, I'll import it later. And now we're being told, or last time I talked to somebody, they said, we're not going to be able to do that anymore. So it sounds like I'm going to uninstall Stripe and have to reinstall it. I don't know.
So I was asking if it's in Club Express because I'm sure there is some messaging feature, and I can just look around and play on the website where we can let them know about those changes. And as you were saying, this is the if they allocate this money whenever they do their renewal, that money will be taken away and be subject to fees. But I'm sure there's some kind of message we can create in the platform whenever they go to do that. Or we can also maybe have, we do have a membership page or put information somewhere on our website that lets them know about these changes so they're aware of that. And if that's something we call out on the main page, the landing page, and then they can click for more information so that that information is available to them.
Ideally, honestly, it would be on the front page of our website, and they would have to read through it or click that they have read it to get into that, at least for the first year or so, because I mean, if it's something they have to go fishing around for, they're not going to do it. They're just going to go try to do it exactly the way they've done it, because I know that's what I do. It's kind of like, I don't want to mess with that. I just want to get my membership back in.
Also, we might, at our next membership meeting, I think we need to have maybe a little session on that. And
I think we do
about it.
I think that's mid-January, and hopefully we will have a whole lot more information and visuals to use at that membership, at that meeting. But as I said, the last meeting I went to has almost completely been undone. And so tomorrow is my next one for the treasurers, and I will find out more tomorrow. But unfortunately, it's not until tomorrow.
Okay, I would really like to include some type of overview of this program at our next meeting, general membership meeting. So, Armand, if you are listening, we'd like to include that as a part of whatever our meeting will be. That be a part of what we do, because I think it is so important that we get this information out, because so very often, as you say, if it's embedded, they're not going to look for it, and they're not, and they may not even read it if it's on the front page. Some people just don't want to deal with it. Some people don't have time to deal with it. But I think if we can kind of pump this up and push this out, such that when we have our next meeting, that will be a feature of our next meeting, and inviting them to come so that they can learn about the new process of renewing their membership and what it's going to mean for the organization. And also that they can know that they feel like $10 is what they want to pay. It is my understanding that is what they would pay. Is that not correct?
Not unless we subsidize them. $20 is the minimum they will take.
Okay.
They're inclusive up to 20, down to $20, but not below.
Okay. Chris?
If we set up something like, we had students at $5, but we had a lot of scholarships, so the students never really paid the $5. Right. That's fine, but we're going to end up paying state and national as though they paid $20. Okay. So we would lose money on it. I mean, we just have to, those are things we're going to have to figure out. But I think for at least the beginning, 20 is just the bare minimum, is the minimum period, for something. And we can then try to adjust it up or down. But 20 is the minimum people can pay to be a voting member. We have our recommended amount, which we have to decide on. And then we have to make sure they understand that the household membership and the sustaining membership are essentially going away as they are known.
Okay. Chris?
Two things. And I've said this before, and all of you are involved in this too, but when Club Estates was launched 2.5, 3 years ago, we lost members from the get-go, because a lot of them never accessed Club Express. So my first question, Brittany, you're kind of our expert there. Is there any way to see how many of our league members, and at one time we had 160 plus, how many are actually registered with a password to go on there and who visited the site? Is there any way to measure that?
Yeah, I can get that information from Club Express.
That to me, that's really important, because we've lost members from that very first thing, and some just don't go on at all. And we adjusted a little bit to make sure they got the newsletter without having to go through those 3 or 4 steps. My second thought is I think it's important to put a really good letter together. I mean, and this may not, letter by committee is tough, but Sandy can get it started. But I think we should literally mail a 73-cent letter explaining this and having them call a certain person who can answer questions. And it just, if they're not going to go on the website, they're never going to see any of our notices, and they may not read the voter anyway. But I think a letter might explain why we're having to do it, what it means to them. Here's some scenarios, even if it's a front and back letter. I just think we really need to do a first-class mailing. Thank you, Madam President.
Chris, I thoroughly agree with you on that. I mean, and I think that the letter should even be hand addressed, because people will open a letter if there's a penmanship there rather than even a label. So I agree that we should probably do something like that. Now, having said that, my question is, when do what date do we set to have this done with? Because if we want to get in front of the membership meeting, we can also add in there that a presentation will be given at the membership meeting as well in that letter. And maybe that will be kind of a backdoor invitation for them to come to the meeting. So,
one other thing I think we should include is the same old, which is, if necessary, if they send it into the box, then I will go through and get them into it, I think. I mean, there's some, even now I get checks through the mailbox and I enroll people in the system, and that's fine. And I'm assuming, not sure yet, but assuming the last time I met, this was still an option. I'll say that. So that if they wanted to send money to me directly or they had questions, that was fine, because then I could call them and enroll them however they meant for it to be enrolled. But
well, perhaps you could maybe have that information ready at our general meeting, but also if we could get that information before we got the letter out. I would really like to see us get the letter out in front of the general meeting with as many Q&As on there as possible that we could even think of, and then offer them the opportunity to, if they have questions, to respond in some way to the letter itself, or may include that something will be covered in its entirety at our meeting. But
right,
given as much information as we can.
As soon as I have the meeting tomorrow, I have been on the website. I have gotten stuff. They kind of had a nice deal, some visuals that were pretty good. I think I included a couple in the October packet. I'm not sure. But again, I don't know. Once I have the meeting tomorrow, I'll kind of have a better idea of exactly what's going on. And it may be that we don't want to pull those visuals down until like the week before we send the letter, simply because it's all in a state of flux right now. But I guess the question then is, what's our target date for the letter? And my target date would probably be about January 8th or 10th, because otherwise it's going to be lost in Christmas. But
yeah, we don't want to get in too soon, but we want to get in there early enough for them to have an opportunity to read their mail and make preparation to come. Since we're kind of in the planning of this, if we could maybe, Armand, if in our program, and probably Beth, if you guys could maybe talk and put something on a blast, something that says, and Chris also for the newsletter, listen up, something's coming down the pike real soon about memberships, very important. Some kind of heads up, or raising the flag to let them know to be on the lookout for this. I think we need to hit all engines, well, not all engines, but whatever goes up and down in the car. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We need to put that all in motion within days of each other, so that if they miss one thing, they'll get another. If they miss one or the other, maybe something else will hit. So I think that that's really, really important that we do this, because our membership, as Chris said, I'm sure we lost members because of having to go online and do a lot of that. But I also hear you, Sandy, saying that you still get checks in the mail, which is great, and that's an option that they can still probably buy into if they don't want to do that. So.
I just thought that might be a way of losing fewer members. If we say,
yes,
if this confuses you, if you have any question about it all, just send the check in and the little note telling us what you want to do.
Okay.
And if not, I'll call them, if I have the information. But.
All right. Well, Brittany says she would craft something if we get the language down, and whatever language we get down, I think the same needs to be put in the blast online, Chris's voter, and anything else that we do, and at the meetings. Maybe at the meeting we can give them a little more information because there may be people there asking questions. But we'll try to put something together and have it ready to go. Sandy is saying that somewhere around the 8th of January would be a good time to kind of push this out so that we'll be in front of things. So can I just get us to agree, maybe 2 or 3 of you guys can get together and put the wording together? That would be probably Sandy and Beth and Chris.
That's fine.
Would you guys be willing to meet and put that verbiage together?
I'm happy, yeah, to do that. I do think we do though, since it's really not just around the corner. We need to decide on an amount. What is the amount that we are going to recommend?
Well, I thought we would just kind of handle that with Sandy's recommendation. I hate to try to put that on Sandy, but you know,
I think we need to decide on what we recommend. I mean, I'm happy continuing with the $60, or we can do 50, or we can go up to 75, which is what state and national want. It's a recommended number. It's the number people are going to see. And so if they're just looking to see how much it costs, that's the number they're going to put in. And, you know, we've always been fairly sensitive to price hikes here, or charging more. But, you know, to me I have really no opinion about it. It's just that we just need a number that we're going to do it. And then, as I said, once we have that number, I think we can talk about whether we want to do something with students differently, or, you know, what we want to do. Friends of the league I don't know if anything happens with friends. They're not addressed. I guess if it's a non-voting member, it's a donation. We can still do that. I don't know. But why would you want to be a friend at 30 if you can be a full voting member at 20? So
I think we also need to remember, and first of all, I don't have my bylaws in front of me, but we need to look. We need to look. You know, maybe today's venue is not the right, but we need to look and see, what did we say? I remember years ago in revision, at one point we had the cost of members in the bylaws, but I know that national and state encouraged us to remove the number and have a certain piece of wording, and I just can't recall that.
I don't believe the numbers in there. I have the
bylaws.
No,
it's not. It's not. And we were at $50. It's been at least 14, 13 years, maybe 15 years since we went from 50 to 60. I mean, we've always hesitated. We wanted to make it doable for people to join, but we need that thing. And then the second thing I just want to remember that we don't forget is that whatever we do really impacts our budget, whether it's good or bad. And so we've got to remember that all of that needs to be kind of in tandem when all of this is happening in January, February, March, just to be really cautious that, you know, we don't underestimate our members, that they decide that 75 is way too much, and that's what we encourage. So budgeting is really important to do it at the same time. And I was thinking about a Q&A letter to me probably gets more information specific with a good question than, 16 paragraphs trying to explain. But maybe a cover letter and then Q&A. And just think of as many things as we could ask among ourselves that we think fellow members would want to know. So, thank you.
If people just want to shoot me questions, and I can just collect them, and we can try to do a Q&A to attach to the letter we send, you know, just a separate Q&A. As for the amounts, just as a reminder, we're going to get to keep more of these dues than we have kept before. So, I mean, we're one of the few leagues that's actually going to benefit from this change. rather than $2 out of every 60 or $6 out of every 60, we're going to get at least twice that. Because I think it's 20% we're going to get. I can't remember. But so we'll get from every $50 membership, we'll get to keep $10, whereas before we were keeping $6. From every $60 membership, we were keeping $6, and then other fees ate that away. So from $60, we'll get at least $12. So we're going to actually get more from each membership. But, again, maybe we should do something like, we're going to keep the suggested membership level at $60, but in the next year, we will probably have to raise it to 75, or, we'll be raising it in 75 in accordance with the request from National or something. I don't know, but I mean, it's something we just have to decide and tell people what we want to do.
Well, I know we haven't had a lot of time to digest all this information, but I really would like for us to have a discussion on cost for renewal and for membership, and kind of make a decision on that this evening, because the sooner we can do that, the sooner we can give this over to you guys so that y'all can write up something and we can get busy working on the document. Now, I saw where Eli suggested 30 or 40, I believe. I don't see that we should maybe change it. They're accustomed to 60. And if we can get more money out of the 60, I think perhaps we need to maybe keep it as high as we can, and not lose any members. I don't know that we've lost members because of the cost of membership. If there may be other reasons why we may have lost members, maybe forgetting, or maybe just deciding they just don't want to deal with the computer, or they don't realize or know that they can continue to send checks in and all that. So that would that one Q&A would be, can we still sign up or renew our membership by way of sending in a check, and you can answer that. But I'd like to hear from the rest of you in terms of what you think what we ought to do. We stay with the 60? Do we lower it? How are you feeling about that?
I think I agree with the 60. They're used to paying 60. I don't know if, maybe we don't need to go into all the, you can donate this or that right now. Maybe all we want to do is just stick with our normal amount. And maybe as time goes on, we can maybe suggest a $15 donation for those that can, which would bring it up to the 75. So that's my thought.
The only other thing with that is, since these other two designations are going away, there's probably a need to have some discussion on it. I think Sandy says that household memberships are going away, and
they're gone.
Okay, they're gone. So there will be a need to have a discussion for or with the general membership.
Right.
Now, sometimes too much information works against you, and sometimes not enough. So that's why I'm hoping that the 3-person committee can come up with something on how to explain all this. But we do need to get settled on a cost. Brittany, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't think we should lower the price. I think maybe staying at 60, and I think Beth made a good point that we can maybe say you can have a $15 donation if you choose to, or yeah, I would say 60 or raising it by $5, but I mean at most 10. I know National's saying 75, but yeah.
Well,
I like the idea of 60 because it's what we have, and we can always fiddle with it in the years to come.
That's
if National puts pressure on, then but
gives you some breathing room to be able to manipulate that. But yeah, I would say I would stick with the 60.
And I'm not sure how it's being made clear yet that you can give less than that. And that's something else we have to look at, because I don't know what the Beth, when you saw pictures of what the website's going to look like, did you see something that talked about, you know, if you feel like paying $20, that's okay too?
I think it somehow said that, you know, it was minimum $20. And then I think there was a spot for you to write in the amount then you wanted to put in. And I can't remember if it was a spin feature, you know, 20, 25, 30, whatever, or if there was, or if it was a change. But I believe that basically when they said that the cost of membership was 20, but then somehow you could make it higher.
Did they say whether the website would accept less than 20 in that thing? Or?
No.
I'll ask tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, they didn't say, or no, they can't.
I don't believe so. It's $20 minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. $20 minimum.
Okay. Okay. So, anybody else want to weigh in on this? If not, we're going to take a vote.
I move we vote.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we vote on a dollar amount for our annual membership and renewal. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I see your hand, please? Can you raise your hand?
Are we voting for $60 or are we?
Well, no, we're voting to take a vote on 60.
Okay. Aye.
If you'll just raise your hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5, 4. All those opposed? Put your hands down if you raised them earlier. I'm on. Okay. All those opposed? Okay. So the ayes have it. We will take a vote this evening. Now, what are we going to say? I'm hearing that those who have spoken up are okay, are feeling fairly comfortable with status quo, which is $60. And of course, that would be across the board for all members. And we no longer have the $90 household. So that means that a household now will be 120.
Actually, there is a way still to do it for 90. It's just you divide that up between a $45 membership and a 45 member, or a 60 and a 30, or whatever else. But you can do it. We just have to tell them how it can be done. There can be 2 people for $90. It's just you don't do it as a quote household.
Oh, okay. So then can I hear a motion that we remain with the status quo of membership cost, which is singles or 60, households max out at 90 in whatever denomination that the household chooses.
You don't have to max it out. I believe it's just that the minimum. So you can have minimum of 20, recommended 60, but I still think somebody could pay $40 if that's all they can afford. That's how I understand it. Do you, Sandy?
Yeah, the way I would do it is, let's make the $60 the recommended amount, just period. And basically we will tell people in the letter that the whole household membership's going away, the sustaining's going away, but here's how you can do the same thing. And then it's up to them if they want to do 60 for one and 30 for the next one, or what they want to do. My guess is we may lose a couple households because they may just do 60 for one and say it's too much trouble to do the other one, you know, but I don't know.
And also it's my understanding, I know Eli was recommending $30 to $40, but a person can just do $30 or $40. It's my understanding that we're recommending the 60. But
we're recommending the 60 and they can go as low as 20.
Right. So
we just need to make that clear.
Yes. Yeah, so we'll begin. So yeah, how to, you know, well, there again, I'll probably need to take a refresher on it again, but a person can join for 25 if they want. It's minimum of 20. We are going to recommend that our members do 60. And I think there's a way to put that on the, type it in there on the screen.
So do we have a motion to recommend membership continue at $60 per person?
So moved. Sandy.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved by Sandy Sturber Boatwright that membership will remain at 60, recommended, and I guess we'll just leave it like that. Recommended at 60 and and pay according to whatever rules and regulations to be established.
Yes, that's our recommendation. And then I think in the letter we explain, here's how you get where you want to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So it has been moved in second that we maintain the $60 maximum with a floor of $20 per person. All in favor?
Aye.
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 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6 ayes. Any nays? Brittany, put your hand down, please. Okay.
That's your teacher talking. That's your teacher talking there.
Okay, it has been moved in second. The ayes have it at 6. No nays. So we will now establish membership at $60 per individual with a floor of $20.
Okay. Yes.
I'm not sure if I need to say more than that. I think we'll just leave that motion as saying that, and then if anybody questions it, we can talk about that.
No, and then we will try to get Beth and I think Brittany's got a training and you've got a training as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But once all those trainings are over and we probably have our second round of trainings, we should, I hope, be in a good position to write that letter well, even though I will probably go ahead and start it from what I understand.
Okay. All right. Sandy, is there anything else that you would like to cover while you have the floor?
No, that's it. Although I've got some technical issues that I need to get on with Brittany because I have tried to fix them now and I have admitted defeat. Because
I have a question for Chris Garcia. If Sandy and I, come up with a Q&A and information on this, and it were to go, is the next voter coming out in December, or what's happening there?
We haven't decided. I did not produce a November one, so it's not on the agenda, but I was going to ask the president for some time at the end of the meeting to see whether we wanted December, January. It kind of depends on whether we have a meeting in January. We could produce a real short December if we need one.
But it could be that we could put whatever Q&A we come up with would go in the January.
Absolutely. Whatever, it could be a special issue, whatever the board wants to produce, and let me edit that. That's great. I'm at your beck and call.
And you would want that to come out by the 10th of January, or do you have it? If the meeting's probably the 16th or 18th or something.
The general meeting.
The general meeting, yeah. So when do you typically have the voter done?
Well, it fluctuates. It's usually within 6 to 8 days after a board meeting, but we didn't have a November board meeting, so I just didn't worry about it.
Okay.
You guys can set the deadline.
If we need to get something together for a December issue, I can put together something pretty quickly. I will probably try to use bullet points because I think that's easier to read. That will basically kind of try to cover the main things about this, but
I would, Sandy,
just let me
I would
know.
be careful about, I think whatever we produce needs to be a good final version. And I'm thinking maybe for you, as far as if we produce a December, I mean, already it's the second,
Yeah.
third. So, but even just a paragraph that says, here are the changes I've been referring to, because you've mentioned it in the last couple of voters, and just a real cover. But I'd be really careful not to produce something until we're ready to produce it.
Well, this would be the bullet points that basically just are what I've just talked about, that essentially it's changed. You need to look at it, that there will be a minimum of 20, that now our recommended will stay at 60, that the household membership will go away as you know it, but we think we can help you if that's still what you want to do, you know, that kind of thing. And you can always just send the check to me if there's a problem. You know, it'll be fairly short and sweet, but it will hopefully let them know the major changes that are being made. And then it'll have the default, you know, talk to me, call me if you have questions.
And it's still an anniversary date. They're not changing anything like that. It's still an anniversary renewal, not always May, June.
That is still the same as I understand it.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I think crafting this is really important. Every word counts. And I think the less we say, the better.
It will have for more information, attend the general meeting, or, you know, there will be more information forthcoming or something. You know, it's not going to be,
and we might
not
be
going to go
better
into details or the weeds.
We might be better off doing it early January, you know, with Christmas and everything else. You know, our people, you know, they're traveling, they're in another town, they're, you know, maybe.
Oh, I agree.
We should just shoot for, because it's happening in, you know, 2025, rather than rushing it out in December. Maybe we should just wait till January. Then I was just wondering what our timeline would be to come up with something. So
yeah, the board needs to, if we need a December meeting to announce a January meeting, we can't wait till January 8th to announce that there's a meeting in January. So whatever news that you think needs to be included, we could easily put out a 6-pager for December, even if we got it out on the 17th of December, wishing everyone a happy holiday, and including a president's message, a little bit from Sandy, Armand looking ahead. I think legislative isn't lobby days scheduled in February by the state. I think there's some news to include in the December voter. We just need to receive some information from each board member.
Aren't we having a meeting in January, a general meeting? Isn't it set?
I thought we set one for the 11th.
That's January 18th.
Yeah.
Is it January 18th?
I think so.
Okay. Okay, so instead of
it would be good to announce that in December then too, to the membership, that's coming up. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not sure. I remember us talking about January meeting. But okay, so if it's January 18th, then we need to keep that in mind and try to adjust the timing that we put out our information. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate it. Moving on to our program and study and advocacy. Armand, do you have a report for us or something to say?
Not at the moment, other than January 18th is our upcoming membership meeting. We've got programmed, there's a lot of interest from our most recent one, specifically to look at community organizing. So if anyone has recommendations for speakers that can share in that topical area, I think that would be good. But currently January 18th is the next one. We haven't looked at any other locations. And as far as I know, we would still be doing the same time, but if there's further thoughts about that, feel free to share. But we had a really successful previous program that was in late November. So thanks for everyone that was able to show up.
Okay. Speaking of, we had a great meeting a couple of weeks ago. However, It was not well attended, but I appreciate everybody that showed up and came and met. We did have a good discussion. I do want to bring up the idea that we have scheduled and it has been published that our meetings are at 10:30 on Saturdays. And I know that the library has changed their hours at Lauritama. But I don't know that all of the libraries changed their opening times. Does anybody have any information on that? If not, because the reason I'm bringing it up is one of the things that we did when we put the calendar together was to try to solve for continuity. And I still believe that that is something that we really should still be looking forward to, is our continuity, at least until we have a retreat in June. We go with what we agreed on. So if we cannot meet at a public library per se at a 10:30 meeting, I think that we probably need to figure that out right now and try to do something a little bit different in terms of location, because we're trying to stick with something, keep some stability in our meetings. Maybe the place changes, but maybe not the time. So Armand, if you don't mind, maybe you and I can put our heads together and we can have a conversation about the time. And if we cannot meet at a location that's already been prescribed, we'll have to go forth and find another location that we can meet. But just to continue on Saturdays, we've already changed the second Saturday in January to the 3rd. That was a change. And then, well, not a change, but that was an agreement at our retreat. And so if you and I can get together and have a discussion, we'll let everybody know. And that way also, Chris, we'll try to let Chris know so that she can put it in the voter as well, because we do need to make sure that everybody kind of knows what we're trying to do and stick with as much stabilization as we can. Maybe a different location, but at the same time. And this time around, when we had our meeting, we really didn't have a lot of options because everybody was working fiercely on their campaigns and people were helping, and there was just a whole lot of things to try to get done. So let the records reflect that Armand and I will be discussing at the exact time and location for our January meeting, please. Okay. Any other discussion on that? All right. Our next report comes from, okay, well, Miss Patty Jones was on here. I didn't, I cut and paste and I didn't get her off of there. So forgive me for that. So our next, Beth, a report. Now, Beth, I believe you sent in your report, and it is on this email that you got with the link. If you'll scroll all the way down to the bottom, when I forwarded it, the link to you, Beth's report was in there. So if Beth wants to leave that as is, we can move on, or if you have anything to add to it, you may do so at this time.
Our membership is down, a little bit, and Chris had wondered if I could find out who, had left us. And I guess I tried, I got her email kind of late before the meeting, and I was kind of looking around on Club Express, which I still have trouble finding reports. I wasn't able to figure out I don't know how to know who's dropping out and who is staying. How to go back to in date. So I can try and work on that. But yeah, other than that, my report is pretty straightforward, but we have gone down a little bit without, for undetermined reason, I guess I could say. I don't know, not a great amount, but I do think, you know, having the meeting at, you know, like you've discussed, at a regular time and a regular location is helpful for our members.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Beth. Sandy?
One thing I just want to say in response to the 160 members that we had one year, I don't know if they're talking about a year or two ago, but we did get 30 student members in 1 year that lasted 1 year. And so that was potentially a false high, just so you don't feel so bad. I mean, it's not like you. So anyway.
I think part of that was when Sylvia was having those new member orientation meetings, get-togethers at her home, and I think that's kind of what spurred that up. So yeah, I get what you're saying, Sandy. That was kind of an inflated number because of that year.
We got 30 students at Ray High School on one visit. 30 members or something like that, 20 members or something. Yeah. They lasted a year and then they didn't come back. But anyway.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Beth. Appreciate that. Moving on, our diversity, equity, and inclusion chairperson, Eli.
Hi, all. I don't have a formal report, but I did have a discussion with President Hawkins at the November meeting, and I'm excited to announce that in January for DE&I committee, we're going to be rolling out something a little different than just a regular committee meeting, but we're going to have a sort of like a DE&I book club. So I will be sending out more information if we did a December voter or if we do a January one. Within the next voter, I'll have a lot more information coming out of how you can get involved and read the book. And hopefully it's a way for us to not just all learn together, but for us to maybe think outside the box a little bit and understand. Thank you, Chris. I saw the message in the chat. So all I need to know about the voter would be deadlines. So yeah, I think that making it, you know, I don't know about all of y'all, but I tend to have to sit through a lot of meetings and they get a little bit annoying sometimes to have to sit through meeting after meeting after meeting. But I think that if we turn DE&I committee into something more fun, I think it's going to maybe bring in members who haven't been as active in other areas. So that's the goal with the DE&I book club within the DE&I committee. So stay tuned for more information there, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, hearing no questions, we're looking forward to that, Eli. You know, book clubs are some of my favorites. I don't have time for book clubs anymore, but that is something that I think is a good thing to have. And I think it's so important because we are seeing more of our DE&I affiliations and things that deal with diversity, equity, and inclusion seems to be on the chopping block. So I think that's a good thing for us to have. Many of the organizations are doing away with their DE&I declarations, and so as long as we can sustain it, I did read something, I believe, from the league where they are wanting to buff it up and have do more for DE&I. And I think that is really important because when so many of our institutions and things are getting rid of these technical comments and policies and all of that, we need that is part of what we do. So, and I think if you guys remember when we went to the state meeting last year, one of the things that they were pushing is DE&I, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so it is not we're not gonna let it go by the wayside if we can possibly help. So thank you for that. All right, Brittany, I do want to say that before Brittany gets started, that Brittany is now our new web Zoom, whatever. I'm not sure what to call her, but anyway, she's going to be doing our Zooming for our meetings because technically that is in her wheelhouse. I do want to, I talked with Anel and I thanked her for being willing to host the meetings for us, despite the fact that she was no longer a part of the executive committee. So, Brittany, thank you so very much for being willing to extend your work with the organization. And I think what is really a boon to this whole situation is that, you know what, you work online, you don't, you're kind of out of the office type person. And so this is just another thing that you can do without having to go to the office. So thank you so much for that, Brittany, and for being willing to help us out with that. So at this time, if you have any reports or any comments, I will turn the mic over to you.
Yeah, no problem. Always happy to help, with tech stuff. And Sandy, I'll be here again for you. Sad to hear about gonna have to go through another round of what is it called? Sprite? I can't even remember. The S word.
Right, or chapter spot.
Right.
We're gonna get to go through both of them, I think, again.
Yeah, always happy to help. So I don't have an official report, but one thing I did want to note, I was comparing our website visits before early voting compared to during early voting and election day. So in September, we had 402 website visits, and during early voting and into November, we had over 947 website visits. So
Wow.
that's really great. I didn't get into the tracked, but like the page trackings, but I know whenever I was setting up some of our election resources, I set up a tracking thing to be able to see, or are they clicking the early voting locations? Like what information are they clicking to see how valuable that was? But it's good to see that there were high numbers and that, people were coming to our website to get information to prepare for voting as well. During early voting and into election day, we did have several people messaging on our social media, trying to get more information about either where to go to vote, even about the runoff election. So it's really good to see that the community, sees and still values us as a source for information that's easily accessible to everyone. So definitely good job to everyone. Thanks for sharing your pictures. Those are always really helpful whenever we're able to show our own board members and our own members going out there and voting and the work that they're doing.
All right. Thank you so much, Brittany, for being our host. I really appreciate you. Have no idea. So Alex just sent us a little message, so she's got to head out. So Alex, I should have put you in where I had Patty and I didn't. So I'm going to step out of the way and give you time for you to give a report or whatever you want to say before you run away.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't have much. I will admit after the election, I went on vacation for a week.
Good for you.
And then I was on vacation for a week over Thanksgiving. So I'm getting back into things. But I did Vote 411 is updated. So all of the races that are not in the runoff have been unpublished. And then all of the people who are not in the runoff have been archived. So Vote 411 is up to date for the runoff. I still need to look through my numbers to really dig into how many guides we got out and where we got them. I still have a few left in my garage, so I definitely think that we probably should order a little bit less next time, but I do not have that exact number right now, but that's my plan for the coming weeks. But other than that, that's really all I have.
Any questions for Alex?
I do. Alex, whenever you get those numbers, I'll be really fast. The numbers of how many voters went out, and even how many volunteers assisted with that. If you could send that to me, because I want to do like a year cap of what we did this year on create a social media post so people can see the impact that we're having on our community.
Yeah, I can get that to you tomorrow.
Sure, thanks.
That would be
Yes.
great. And Alex, thank you for that report. I really appreciate it. I kind of have the same thought that you may have had. I don't know if we just didn't have enough people delivering them or if we over ordered or whatever, but I think we do need to take a look at that and maybe make some small adjustments with that, with the numbers that we ordered. So thank you so much for all the work that you have done, and we certainly appreciate it. So if you need to be excused now, you may do so, unless somebody else has a question. Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Beth gave her a hand. Let's give Alex a hand and those who helped her. That was so, so important. So, so important. So thank you so much. I just
Yes.
cannot, you guys are rock stars. I just cannot say that enough. You have no idea how I so
Yeah.
appreciate everything that you do and your willingness to be part of our community to help
Of
out.
course. Yeah, and just thanks to Chris always.
Yes.
Could not have done it without Chris for sure. And of course, like all of y'all like helped with everything. So really
We get
appreciate
it. Yeah, we get it.
All right,
Yes,
bye
and we're
everybody.
feeling the same way about Chris. Yes, Chris, you are so loved. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so moving right along, we have our communications chairperson, a director here. Nick, you want to jump in and talk to us a little bit, sir? You're muted.
Yeah, I've had no activity since the forum. It was the last messages I sent out, notices I sent out. This is belated, but I'm still amazed, impressed, overwhelmed, particularly by the members, by the executive committee, and particularly those executive committee members that were also candidates at the same time that you were putting out forums, that you were, I'm sorry, the voter guides, the being the MC at the forums, doing all that stuff. Alice, Eli, who am I leaving out here? The third person, our secretary.
Sylvia.
Sylvia, Tryon.
Sylvia, Tryon, all those folks. I mean, you can't have elections unless you have two elements you need. You need candidates and you need voters.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to start with candidates. Put their names up there and take all the slings and arrows. And so kudos to you and to all of you who did all that. I'm glad that I see that Eli is going to be more active with the DEI because we don't want to do what so many other institutions are doing, as if it didn't matter anymore, right? Oh yeah, well, we did that one time. We don't do that anymore. No, 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 no. So yeah, we need to underscore that more than ever, that DEI means everything to everybody. So we need to keep that up. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick, for those kind words and for the observation, because a lot of people don't know what we all had to go through during the month of, especially November, October going into November. It was very hectic, and so I appreciate your observation on that, and thank you for your words. I think all of us appreciate so much that people understand what it is that we do alongside of all the other things that we choose to do. And this is one of those things. And so I appreciate you. I appreciate your words. And I'm sure that everybody online appreciates your words. So thank you so much for that. So I think that I have one thing that I want to say or bring up, and I can forward this to you. I didn't want to forward this to you on top of all that other stuff I sent today. But the YWCA, I got this today from Nancy Weston Dodd, is having a compliment. They're having what they call, let's see what it is, a Yuletide luncheon and market is coming up Friday, December the 6th, with a luncheon from 11:30 to 1. And we have a complimentary table for 8. And we have been invited to come and celebrate with them. And it's going to be at the YWCA over on Corona. And what I'll do is I'll send this. I know you can't see this, but I'll send this to you, and you can let me know whether or not you're going to be able to go. And I really would like to hear from you on that so that I can get back with Nancy and let her know. And it is a Yuletide luncheon. Our tickets or our location, our table is a complimentary table, and it will be from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m.
And what's the date, Madam President? What's the date?
It's December the 6th.
Okay.
And it will begin at let's see, 11 to 3 with the luncheon from 11:30 to 1. And it's called a market, so I'm assuming that they're probably going to have things like kind of like an auction or something like that to sell to raise money. This is part of their fundraiser. I will send you the email. I'll forward it to you after we get done talking on, and if you would let me know that you're going to be going, and I can at least report for the luncheon at minimum, I can report that back to Nancy. So I'd appreciate it. Okay, so I'm just checking my notes to see if there's something else we need to do. Before we go, what is our time? Our time, we're moving along pretty good with our time, but what I wanted to do is to get you to take a few minutes and go into your computers if you're able to do that, and let's approve October's minutes for the event for our executive committee. And also there's several documents on there. Sandy has put her report on there, and it's at the very bottom of the the email with the links on it for the Zoom. So if you could just all take a few minutes, and we can just kind of take a lull here. And if you could go in and look at, first of all, there is the November, there's a treasurer's report, and we've already talked about that, a written report. Then there is also the official financial statement for the month of October. And then we have our November 24th fiscal year financial statement. And the last report on there is the, and if you'll scroll down at the very bottom, I sent a second forward, which would be, thank you, Chris, for reminding me, which would be the October minutes. And that's what we want to take a look at. And open up that last forward on that same email thread. And it's the executive committee member minutes for October.
I don't see that.
Okay, you got a second forward, if you're looking on your emails. So
I'm not finding it either,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I don't see it.
Hold on, maybe I didn't, I thought I sent that.
I see the agenda.
It is there, it's a second for, in that same thread where you opened up the link.
Oh, it says
that,
yeah, you have to download it. I guess if you're trying to preview it inside your email, it's not going to show.
It came in, let me see, I was trying to.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
That's
see
the
it.
minutes. You'll have to open it up.
I don't know how to do that, I guess.
Do you see the document?
I see it. It's in the file name. Do I
Okay.
save it or?
Yeah, you're going to have to download it.
Yes. Yeah. You'll save it or download it, and then it'll go into your downloads file, and then you can open it up from there.
What is the date and time of the one you sent it on? Because I'm not finding. I'm sorry, I'm just not finding it.
Okay, I sent. If you can go to the email that you received from me today with the link.
I have, okay, with the link, I got that. Okay.
Okay. And then if you will scroll down below those documents, there is a second forward.
I can drop it in the chat also.
Maybe if you could do that, because I cannot.
Would you do that,
I'm not
please?
finding it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Nope, you're fine.
It's not opening up for me either. Yeah.
I just put it in the chat.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. If you'll open it up in your chat.
Okay.
Could you possibly share that?
Oh, yeah.
On the screen, and we can just take a quick look at it, and then we can vote on.
Wait a minute, I just got the membership report.
Okay, I have it. You can see
Try
my
name.
Okay, that's the membership. Whose screen is that?
mine.
Okay.
That's the membership. I don't have the minutes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, hold up.
Okay, if not, I can share my screen.
Okay, yeah, that's probably better. Oh, okay, I found the executive.
You found it?
The executive committee report thing is, I think, the agenda.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But I sent you guys, I forwarded it on the same thread, I forwarded it.
It's like a Zoom link or something. I don't know.
No, it's an executive, it's League of Women Voters Executive Board.
That's the agenda for tonight, though, I thought.
No, that is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up all at one time across the page, and then
and it's my report, best report.
Okay, so there should be another forward to all of you guys on that same thread. I forwarded the LWV minutes executive board,
Well,
and that's.
I don't see it.
I was going to say, I have a forward from Brittany, but I don't see that one.
Okay, sorry. Let me see. Okay, well, let me see if I can share my screen. Now, well, let me just do this.
Can't just resend it? Or?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
That'll work.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to send this. I'm forwarding this to all of you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sending it. 7 Chamberlain and Chris. Okay, I'm sending it right now. I actually forwarded it. It should come in your email right now.
Okay.
I got it.
Me too.
Yay! Anybody still searching?
Okay, minutes, right?
It doesn't say minutes. It says, hold on.
I think it says minutes.
Yeah,
It says LWV minutes executive board, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
October
Yeah.
7th. Yep, here it is.
that's it.
Um, hmm.
Hey, maybe the only thing for the website social media says a few members joined the league. I'm not sure if I said that because I don't believe a few members joined the league, but I know some people signed up for us to contact them.
So what paragraph is that in?
Under website social media in the first paragraph.
I did a few members did join from that book event.
Okay, then strike that.
I may want to change the treasurer's report information just slightly.
Okay.
Recapped info regarding receipts from WQ dinner, approximately 7,000 expenses, 14,000 income. Also stated there is a new membership platform from National. Thanks to Brittany for her help with this matter. Period. Membership dues for students, among other things, I think membership dues for students will be minimum $20. That's one little snippet out of a bunch of stuff. So.
And that's under yours?
That's under treasurer's report.
Uh-huh.
It says, thanks to Brittany for her help with this matter. I think that should be a period.
Okay.
And then take out the and insert among other things, comma. Membership dues for students will now be a minimum of $20. Because the stuff about the
okay
recommended amounts and stuff was also stated, but I mean, I don't have a problem. It's just that makes it sound like that's the only change.
Okay, membership dues okay, would be approximately 20. Introduce for students.
Well, no, take out the approximately. Will be $20.
Okay. All righty. $20.
So I move to amend the minutes in that manner.
Okay. And Brittany, you said you had a correction?
Disregard that because Beth did say that we did a few members did join, so yeah, disregard mine.
Okay.
Yeah, they did ask for information. They did not join that day, but I sent them the information the next day, and they did show up on the new members, so they did join.
Okay. All right then. So is there anything else?
I moved with the modifications that they be approved.
Okay, motion to make those modifications and approve the minutes. Second.
By Sandy.
Second.
Okay, Beth seconded. Sandy made the motion. All right, are we ready to vote? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. All in favor of accepting the minutes with the corrections? Sandy, did you have?
No, that was an aye.
Oh, okay.
I'm voting.
All in favor, vote. Yeah, raise your hand, please. All in favor? Okay, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I vote yes. All in favor, 6 votes aye, no nays. The motion is carried with the appropriate corrections. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all so much. All right, so that gets us there. We know about the invitation to the Yuletide luncheon and market.
You sent that? You're sending that?
Yes, I'm gonna forward that email from the YWCA, Nancy Wessendod. I'm gonna forward it to you guys and you can read it. If you would be willing to let me know as soon as you can whether or not you be in attendance, I can get back with her and let her know. Okay, so I think that is all that I have. If any, are there any comments or anything from you guys that you need to say something before we close the meeting? It is now open for anybody for last minute comments. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine.
Madam President, may I make a motion to adjourn?
If there are no other comments, motion to adjourn by Eli McKay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Oops.
Okay. Okay, the ayes have it. Noes? I don't think there's any noes. All right. So the meeting will be called at 6:38 p.m. The meeting will be adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. We were like